Welcome back to Golden Axe Beast Rider, now on to the Highland Fortress. Guess the color scheme of this level.
Green.
More, yeah, putrid green, not the pleasant
Is
kind.
green like that bit in Action 52?
Alright, let's continue.
Hey
No
there.
cutscenes this time around, unfortunately. It's a very arcade-ish level. You have to go full on your own.
Sorry, we lost the cutscene.
I forgot if I mentioned already, probably at the beginning, but just in case. Anyway, there we go. There's the new costume for Tyrese, this time with February boots, I guess. Okay, this level introduces new enemy, the Spearmen. They will charge at you with an attack that can only be dodged, and you can counter easily, you know. And just like with the other armored boar warriors, you have to peel away the armor before actually taking them down. Again, it's another layer of the game becoming very annoying and tedious with its combat. But anyway, I forgot to mention already, but yes, the game has a run button. I guess they felt the need to have it. I mean, the normal speed of a character is already fast, but when you get the run button and it goes really like Sonic tier,
I
because
guess
I wanted to... Go on, sorry.
I guess it helps in getting the game over with.
I guess, and my god, this frame rate. Look, I wouldn't have mind if it was just locked at 30. Like, if it's so janky, just lock it at 30 and be done with it, you know. I won't understand. The problem is that it keeps flip-flopping like this. I'm convinced at this point that for the technology that they used for the team, this was actually an upscaled PS2 title of some kind. Especially because it started development a couple of years, you know, before the advent of the generational console that included PS3 and Xbox 360. So I don't know. There we go. Even the opening the gate sound effect is
they didn't
hard.
lose that cutscene then.
Anyway, let's keep going. Yeah,
Oh, fast-forwarding
Crash
already.
Bandicoot.
Since it's raining, might as well have the free variation of the Slippery Climb theme. I forgot in which order they are, but you have the beta version, the normal version, the one I got in the previous game, and the NC Trilogy version. Because seriously, again, this level is just entirely with the rain, with this sick green aura to it that mixes with the browns, you know, and it's so distracting.
I probably
And once again, nothing happens. I mean, sure, the combat is nice. I can dig part of it when it's not really annoying. Like, for example, here where you have to toss enemies onto the pikes. That is actually really fun, you know, if you get down to it. The problem is that it's so tedious and, you know, repetitive.
Hey, Dwibs.
Like this kind of gameplay can sustain a half-hour game like the originals, not so, or even a 1-hour game, but they cannot sustain a 5-hour game like this.
Yes, Shiver?
Do you think we'd be probably having more fun just doing Stormy Ascent rather than this?
Time trial is exclusive.
You know, I'd rather play. Yeah, pretty much. I can't remember though if in the because I mean in the Japanese version, I think they switched a couple of levels around.
Okay.
Difficulty.
For context, audience, Stormy Ascent is the level that was removed because
new beast type. The Chromath, which is basically a gigantic rhinoceros of a moot thingy. This is actually a beast that's pretty cool to tame. The problem is that this is now the enemies having this cool toy, and by the time you're actually able to jump on it, it will have very little health left. So, thank you, game, I guess.
Not only that, but it seems like you have to damage the beast in order to, you know, get...
Yeah, that's the... To be fair, this was a thing also in the original game. If you want to get a steed that is ride on by one of the enemies, you have to damage it first. The problem is that here, you know, you have to inflict a lot of damage in order to actually get to one of these, you know. And so it is, you know, by the time you get on the beast, it will have little health, and the enemies can knock you down very easily as a result, because, you know, trade-off is a bitch in this game.
Again, Crash of the Titans handled this problem properly. Yes, you have to defeat a Titan in order to be able to ride and mount it, but when you mount it, then its health pretty much is back to being full when you mount it, essentially.
Okay, I will say this, like I said, this beast is actually very fun to ride on, because just by trotting, you will actually trample some enemies in some capacity. Then, oh no, there we go. Then you can have the stomping attack. Ow. You can have the stomping attack in order to, there you go, to actually defeat in a shockwave the enemies. It's actually, again, it is fun to actually use that beast compared to the others. It's just that it's a pain to actually get on top of it.
Yeah, anyway, folks, as for the context of whether or not me and Dribs would do this or Stormy Ascent, for context, Stormy Ascent was the level originally in Crash Bandicoot that got removed because the devs thought it would be too tough. Don't worry, the ever so lovely people at Vicarious Visions brought it back to torment modern gamers.
And yes, it is that difficult, especially the time trial.
The hint is literally good luck you'll need it, and it's the one time you get infinite lives. And by the way, good luck getting the color gem on it, which requires you going through, getting all the boxes without dying.
Once.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if there are levels in Crash 4 that are as hard as Stormy Ascent, it's a good thing that you could choose not to have a live system in Crash 4.
I know, right?
Yeah, basically, in Crash 4, you can have a modern mode.
Ow, the frame
where
rate!
Where it just tells you, how many times you've died.
Mm-hmm.
Or classic mode, where there's the traditional live system. You want to bit an extra.
So does the game have an equivalent to penalize you in case you don't use a live system? Like, say, I don't know, it does like Mario Odyssey, the tracks something
like
else.
Like the death routes, I guess. You don't get to use those.
Yeah, makes sense. Would make sense.
And there
I mean, it's interesting to see how Toys for Bob can shift from making more open world stuff like Spyro to a more linear thing like Crash.
Again, that's probably why it's easier for them to release this game, right now, because it's probably took less effort. I mean,
It's a brand new game.
It's a brand new game, so basically no recycling material. But again, it's more linear and simple compared to. That's probably why they managed to squeeze in multiple playable characters, because they just could essentially.
I do wonder if those alternate pathways shown might hint at something a bit bigger, but yeah, it does seem a bit more on the linear variant, yes. One
thing that I've been a little bit iffy about regarding the Crash series recently is not the redesigns themselves, but I swear there's been more redesigns of Crash in 3 years than Sonic has in like nearly 30.
Nobody was really asking for a redesign.
And people criticize Sega for saying there's too many redesigns. They have not seen Activision and Toys for Bob and Vicarious Visions.
Yeah, seriously, nobody was asking for a redesign of Crash, seeing as how most people pretty much liked the new art style with the remakes already going for it.
It shows a potential lack of consistency as well.
Well,
again, it's all different developers.
Now the game starts to there you go. Now the game starts throwing mines at you for some reason. One thing I forgot to mention, hold on. If a beast gets damaged too much, it goes in this frenzy state, you see the red aura, and it attacks everyone, including you. You have to wait until it calls. Yes,
you have to whack it and tell it it's being a bad boy.
Ow.
I mean,
sorry.
Some of these mechanics do... Oh, really?
Okay, that was cheap.
Wow. Yeah, pretty much my point.
Oh, death is but an illusion, yes.
Oh, and keep in mind, those dragon statues that allow me to continue on the spot, they're not infinite, and they're really scarce in the levels. So I will come very soon to a point where I don't have them anymore, and I have to do all the levels in one go.
So can you actually knock these guys off the bridge too? Because it looked like there was an invisible boundary keeping that guy.
No, you can actually.
Yeah, like
At least the game is that merciful.
So many mechanics in this game feel so backwards, or they work against each other. Like...
Or again, Jova, unfinished, because the game is unfinished.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it shows.
See, I can't even detonate the bombs with the golden axe, apparently. Like, I mean, again, in thought process, I have a ranged weapon, I can use it against the bombs. Let me try again. Maybe they just, fuck up with the aiming. No, it just goes through. I guess I have to thank them. I guess this is so stupid. Either they forgot they hit detection, or they just decide. Oh, okay, what was the point of it? Basically, a giant trap that just let me stay on place.
Okay.
It doesn't even damage me, so I don't know what was the point.
I guess it's to make you feel awesome for breaking out of it.
Sure, whatever. Oof.
Ooh.
But no, I agree with what you said, Drova. Again, it shows a lack of consistency with the redesign. I personally, don't mind. And by the way, yes, the beast just committed Sudoku by throwing himself off the cliff.
Oh my god, this game.
This game keeps delivering.
It certainly does.
Again, I don't mind the redesigns of It's About Time, but I understand that, we're relatively unnecessary,
I'd say the most
there are ones that I understand, like Tona, because it's not your Tona; it's the one from an alternate dimension, so it might as well have her look different. Although, judging from the concept art, I kind of prefer the Indiana Jones inspired look.
Yeah, because that
but this one is fine too.
I think it's just a question of why. Okay, I get it. It's a different Tona from a different universe. But the inkling from the cutscene seems to suggest that they're hinting that, this Tana will eventually replace the old Tana, and that'll just...
I don't know, Joe. I don't think
we'll have to wait for the game to come out. I think this is the first time Crash has been down a bit more on story.
Ever since the Titan duology, I guess.
Oh yeah, true. I guess I can give the Titan.
Even for comedic purposes, oh my god, this is cheap. Even for comedic purposes, the Titan duology still had a story to tell.
Also, holy cow, that Lancet box is cheap.
Jesus Christ.
Well, I haven't seen all the story for the Titans games, but I still can't get over them making Crunch sound like Mr. T.
Okay.
For some reason.
For context, they made Tiny a Siberian tiger.
Completely different, and they made him speak like Mike Tyson.
Voice.
Yeah.
It's just, look. I will not deny that Radical Entertainment were a good dev team, but I cannot blame people who only know them for their Crash games to think otherwise, because...
I remember them from Prototype at the very least, so I know they're capable of better.
I actually know them through Scarface The World Is Yours.
Yeah, there's that too.
I
think I forgot who talked about them. Maybe Madman Muscle himself, but he did mention about their history as a team. Telling how their accomplishment, and now essentially the Prototype was kind of like a combination of all of their skills, and that's why the person was very successful. Then Activision happened. They say, make a sequel, make the protagonist of the first game a complete dick. Push more on the military angle, and when the game inevitably was, more mixed received, they decided, it was because of the dev team.
Pretty much, and thus,
It's a shame, because not just for Radical, but for Activision itself to be this stupid, because Prototype could have easily been one of their main new cash cows, and they just let it slip like this.
I think the problem was Activision were so focused on getting that Crash Bandicoot.
Oh yeah.
Enemy.
By the way, there you go. The AI of the enemy is so aggravating, but it's a set. Whenever there's a not read instead, they're compelled to actually ride it to go towards it. They completely ignore your attacks potentially and continue to attack you. They're that petty. They just want to be as dickish as possible.
In a better game, I'd applaud AI like that. Here, it's just annoying.
That's for myself. I don't mind, I actually prefer an enemy that's competent rather than imbecile, but this game is just programmed to be mean-spirited against you, and not even in the Dark Souls way of saying, don't worry, you just need to get good, and when you will triumph, you will feel a sense of accomplishment. I feel as if I actually went through, one of those very steep ramp of stairs for some, Central American temple, and I just arrived, kind of like that scene in Road to El Dorado when they had to climb the stairs. Yeah, I feel exactly like that at the beginning. Not accomplished, just extremely tired.
I know, right? Love that movie.
Also, again, other than the bombs, you also have, man-sized bear traps, which also inflict a lot of damage, and they can be spotted. They're not completely invisible. They're just really that petty to find, and considering also with the rain and the murky terrain, they're also potentially hard to notice until the very last moment. Again, everything in this game is designed to be as annoying as possible. And I'm sure it was just because it was rushed. I'm pretty confident if, the team was more competent and actually focused, on the game, on one aspect of the game, instead of trying to be so ambitious and multi-branch, the end result would have been so much better.
I can definitely see the workings of a good game here. Like I said, a lot of it, it's like you said, a lot of it comes from it feeling very uncompleted, which it pretty much is confirmed to be. Again, maybe some mechanics would mesh better if they had the proper time, loving care to, properly flesh everything out. Also, that lost footage really takes away a lot from the story potential as well.
Pretty much. Which, again, it leaves the game to having to stand on the legs of the gameplay, and unfortunately, it doesn't sustain itself on them.
Who knows? Maybe the story might have been enough to save this game. We'll never know.
Keep in mind, the skeleton of the story that we have is fine on its own. It's not inherently wrong. Death equals Adder as wants to terrorize the land and kill the Titans. Go defeat him. The team is formed at the end. Easy enough, But unlike in something like, say, Final Fantasy XII, the skeleton of the story that has remained is not compelling at all. Nor is structured enough to be entertaining for the audience, and the gameplay does not. The lackluster gameplay and the horrible performance doesn't help either.
Let me put it like this: the skeleton of a story is sort of like, let's call it a fleshed out Sega Genesis era kind of story here. By Sega Genesis standards, yeah, this story would be considered rather fleshed out with the very little cutscenes that we have already here. The problem is that in this day and age, for this kind of story, people were expecting more, and originally they were supposed to get more. But alas, the footage got lost here. We technically do have a semblance of a story here and there, but unfortunately it falls to that whole, you gotta craft your own story here and there, and it's not even in a fun way like, say, something like Undertale or a Telltale's game where you can choose all these different methods or whatnot. It's like, no, you have to imagine some of the story bits here and there. Sure, yeah, you're playing for the levels, but there's not always really a nice cohesive manner of sticking them together. Hell, even Sonic 3 and Knuckles arguably had better storytelling. Sure, yeah.
That actually reminds me... Sorry, go on, later.
Sure, yeah, the cutscenes were silent and short, but they did a good job in connecting stuff overall. You about to say, Tia?
That actually reminds me of something, Pedro.
Yes.
Considering it has been released only in Japan and Europe, I'm not asking Joe because he probably doesn't know, but out of curiosity, have you ever checked that weird PS2 Altered Beast reboot that Sega did in 2005?
No.
Oh, I've heard of that game.
I was actually very curious about it. Basically, from what I heard...
I'm not really that big of a fan of Altered Beast to begin with.
It's an attempt at Sega to make Altered Beast with a proper story, but again, going through the edgy route and having it being, instead of having the Centurion, in ancient Greece / Rome,
whoop, down he goes.
Having to face an evil wizard, it's instead set in the USA, and it has this person, I forgot what he's called, that is a prisoner in this genetic lab, and has the ability to transform into these beasts.
Why was that Mook just standing there and letting you wail on him?
Boom!
And why was that Mook pretty much doing nothing
Yeah, pro
either?
tip, don't get pushed by the wind, because otherwise, ow, you will probably face a horrible death.
You amazingly didn't lose any health despite being brushed up
I
against
probably
that
just
spike.
glitched out through the, the hitbox. Ow.
Hey, you still didn't lose health.
I don't know how it happens, Jova, believe me.
You're magic.
It's one of those I'll take this kind of victory if I can moment.
It's like how there's a lot of weird stuff that doesn't make sense, or they just say magic. It's like in that, it's like that bit near the end of the Snowman where apparently Michael Fassbender can't see someone from a mile away that is about to shoot him, even though there's barely any fog around.
It's exactly like in the Langoliers, where Bronson Pinchot's character is arriving full speed with a knife in his hand, and the characters who are standing kind of like in front of him but could see do not notice him.
Well, I mean, at least the Langoliers was finished.
True.
Boy,
Actually, I have a question, Dweebs, because, you already told me what the movie is about, but is there a reason why it's called The Snowman? Is that like the signature of the killer or something?
Yes, apparently, yes. When the snowman killer kills somebody, he either puts the snowman next to the victim or makes the victim the snowman.
I was gonna ask,
so
is it like that terrible Jack Frost movie?
Yeah, the one where the snowman is the killer. But no, Jova. I guess it is the same
based
question.
off a book series, so
It's supposed to be it's supposed to be like a crime drama, but it's supposed to be taken super seriously.
Is it also a Christmas movie?
Liz wanted to pick it last year for Christmas, so I guess in a way.
Hey, that could be my Christmas pick this year, but anyway.
Please no.
The Snowman came out in October.
Cute, but
But I've already made my Halloween pick, so I'm gonna make the Snowman my Christmas pick.
It's just like Disney releasing the remake, well, not remake, but live action adaptation of the Nutcracker on Halloween, clearly fitting with the festivities, mate.
What the hell was up with that? There's danger.
Almost there. Don't worry. We will need more hemp before we're through. But yeah, you've also noticed the introduction of a new enemy type, the Captain. Again, giant, still with the armor to peel on because that's fun, And it's very ruthless with its attack. You have to counter them effectively in sequence. It becomes effectively kind of like a Raven game. Also, another thing that I forgot to mention about the Spearmen, since they're using, spears, as the name and appearance suggest, they're very effective against, the steeds that you have that you're on. So if you're riding one and they charge against you, they potentially can one-shot it. So just be careful if you find them. Try to stay on your feet.
So if I can get this properly, green sigils recover your health. Blue ones, I'm guessing, recover your magic. What do the red ones do?
They usually spawn a beast.
Ah, okay.
There we go. Now let me charge that as well. Especially because unless you actually get it from killing the thieves, you will not replenish your magic meter this easily.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at least the fireball spell traveled far enough. So.
Feels like the fireball spell is more effective than the golden axe.
Yeah, it technically is. The golden axe is mandatory for some of these sections where you have the statues of Death Adder to destroy. Where did he go?
He literally just vanished into a puff of smoke.
Oh, and then he despawned.
Are all enemies in this game freaking wizards?
Wait. So did that guy respawn from dying and falling? Because he fell down.
I guess the game was this petty. No. You had to defeat it on your own. I'm sorry.
Oh my god, this
Just
game.
fuck off. Also, I'm hearing it now. There is some kind of music in the level, but like I said, it is really unnoticeable, to be honest. Oh, this section is just nice. You have to find a captain while the two wizards on top bombard you with spells, and you have to focus on one target at a time.
Yeah.
And he spawns minions. Fucking fantastic.
Wait, but his minions were doing nothing there. They were just standing there.
I just took advantage of that.
Again, what's up with these mooks that are all of a sudden just standing there doing nothing?
I don't know, Joe. This game is unfinished, so there's only so many times I can say that.
Yeah, so what? Would you consider this game the Snowman of video games?
I guess
flat out missing.
I don't know, Joe. Sorry, I don't know, Dreams. Again, on that front, I would compare it more to Sonic 06 because Sega. The only difference being that the story Sonic 06 is more finished than this one. Doesn't make it still a complete a great one.
So I think the Snowman's more accurate because
all right,
like this game, that movie is flat out missing stuff.
Instant Trilogy version. I'm pretty confident with there are some game example of more similar to this, with more unfinished and completely unfinished.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, basically now you're in the actual portion of the fort inside, and again, it's another kill all the enemies. And again, despite being inside the fort, they don't throw anything particularly themed at you. You just get another horde, and that's it. Yeah, this starts to feel more like Gears of War Judgment in that kind of way. This that monotonous and with a lack of set pieces. Even there are even so little boss fights, and like most of them are recycled, kinda.
Didn't Gears of War Judgment also have some development issues behind it as well?
But it wasn't. I can tell it wasn't really unfinished.
Not to the extent of this. I mean,
Yeah.
Oh, definitely not to the extent of this. But I'm wondering if it had some sort of issues of not necessarily similar scale, but of
Well, the fact that Cliff Blazinski and some of the rest of the team left after free, that was probably the big difficulty hurdle. Yeah.
God, imagine if a lot of the footage for the cutscenes for Judgment were lost, and that's why we spend most of the campaign in that godforsaken courthouse.
Anyway, there you go. Boss fight against the Firstborn.
Oh,
The
boy.
Basically, it's one of the two giants that you have faced, where you have seen where they kidnapped the dragon.
All right, let's see how he looks in this game. I guess it could look worse. This is
it is relatively fine. Now the gimmick is that one of the giants fight with only his feet and one with his arms. I forgot which one this is. I think it is one with the arms. So what you need to do is to actually exploit trying to hit him. When you hit him, you don't actually deplete his health bar, but if you hit him long enough, you will render in like a catatonic state. At that point, you need to perform a kick maneuver and actually smash him into one of those pillars. The reason he will get hurt is because those pillars carry fire, and that's what's actually gonna hurt him.
Where are the rocks falling from? It's not like we're underneath a roof.
He's smashing the ground, but I guess, I don't know. It's similar to an effect as Earth Magic, but it's not like he's using a spell.
Weird.
Ow.
Oh! Oh, so you're one of those big guys, the ones who grab but don't crush but just throw away.
There you go.
Developers, but his name is meant to be General Heartland.
Actually, not really. Honestly, it's not really supposed to be similar to those.
Okay then.
It's a new original design and a character.
Alright then.
Do not seal. It's still a very average boss fight. And keep in mind, like I said, aside from minor variation, this will be the boss fight that's recycled for most of the game.
Well, if it's really average, it's really worth stealing anyways.
Sorry, Lives?
If it's an average boss fight, then is it really worth stealing?
Do not underestimate how desperate some people may get.
The thing also is that some of his attack will need to be countered specifically, but the timing is also very off. There we go. Let's try again. I remember I was experimenting in this moment, so I didn't know what to do specifically. Don't worry, I will get on quickly. Don't worry.
So are we gonna face Secondborn in this game?
Yes. I'm not even joking. The next boss like this is called the Secondborn. There we go. Vulnerable to knockback. Thank you for the hint, I guess.
Okay, if it's not a character telling you that, the game text telling you that.
It's Tyrus Force reflecting on that. Let's try. I think. There you go. There we go. Easy enough. Just do it a couple of more times and you're good to go.
Can you do it against the same pillar multiple times, or does it have to be
I
against
think so. I forgot if I tried it or not. Ow. Even the boss fight music is memorable.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say this. This music is not gonna be giving War for Cybertron any run for its money.
I mean, there's
Who was the
barely any
composer of
music
that,
at all.
Jova?
The composer of War for Cybertron.
Let me.
check.
I'm checking. Do you mean the video game or the
The
animation?
video game.
The video game.
Tyler Bates.
Huh.
I feel like
So
I've
he
heard
moved
him
on
for-
quite a well. He moved on quite well from the 300 controversy.
Huh.
What happened with that? Actually, don't know.
Alleged plagiarism.
Huh.
Guess you could say he did much better with War for Cybertron in that regard, since there were no accusations.
Yeah, apparently he flat out ripped off stuff from an Elliot Goldenfall score for a movie called Titus.
Huh. I thought that Titles was a gaming company.
No, it's a movie called Titus it's based off a Shakespeare
There we go.
thing.
Okay.
Oh, great,
and now
mooks!
Fantastic. I needed... Again, this fight wasn't challenging enough.
Oh no, and these mooks actually move now!
How terrifying. I mean, also another thing, because before you ask, you'd think, when with the emphasis on beast riding, you could potentially ride one of the giants if you like defeat him. Not really. There is one of the bosses that, in the end portion of the game, that after you defeat it, you can actually ride it. But again, it's probably one of the better boss fights, so I will just leave it as a surprise as well. Jesus, now the Spearman too. Also, as you can potentially hear, the one-liners also from the enemies are very repetitive. So you get like Eggman boss fight in Shadow the Hedgehog situation where they keep using the same lines over and over again. Except
when,
they're not even funny.
I know, right? When Eggman does it, it's meme-worthy and funny. Here, it's just, well, battle cries, some of which do not even sound convincing.
And like
I say, the more the merrier.
And like I said, these are not like the first people who was the first couple of people who were passing by. You know, yeah, I can recognize some of these voice actors, like again, Lime O'Brien, for example. They're not really that bad. It's just that they're put with terrible things to work.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're almost done.
Time for a change of pace.
Get a load of this.
No, not even.
No, it's even better, Jova, when he does it and he overlaps it like 3 times. Get a load of this.
Yeah, it's like
the way it's mixed, it sounds like a bloody rap.
It's like it's like that beat in Battlefield Earth with endless options for renewal.
Oh God,
Endless options for renewal.
Endless options for renewal.
Oh, I actually I don't think I ever checked who was the editor of that movie. Anyway, done. And he doesn't even die properly, just fall off the cliff like this. Sorry, Tyrese, that dropkick wasn't cool. Oh, and you still have to exit the arena normally, by the way. But hey, at least we got a fragment of the Golden Axe. There's that.
Yay! Maybe now the Golden Axe can be more useful.
No, like I said, no, until you complete it, no.
So it's like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Oh boy, we got ourselves a new weapon now. Let's never use it again. Okay.
Also, thank goodness that boss's piece of the Golden Axe fell off him, and Tyrus didn't accidentally end up kicking it down that shaft with him.
All right, in the next part, we travel towards the desert. We jump to the desert level. So see you for that.
See you then.
See ya.